Interests and hobbies. Film. 1. Do you like films?
Yes, I enjoy watching films. When I want to relax or have some fun, I like to watch a movie.
2. What kinds of films do you like best?
My favourite kinds of films are comedies. I like movies that can make me laugh.
3. How often do you watch films?
If there is an interesting movie playing at the cinema, I'll go to see it. It's nice to go out to see a movie with my friends sometimes and get to see it on a big screen.
4. Do you like to watch films alone or with your friends?
I'd rather watch films with my friends. We always have a good time together, and afterwards we talk about the movie, whether we enjoyed it or not.
5. Do you prefer to watch films in the cinema or at home?
I prefer to watch movies at the cinema, because then you get to see the movie on a big screen, with a better sound system. I think it makes the movie more impressive, you know?
Dance. 1. Do you like to dance?
Yes, I like to dance, because I really enjoy moving to the music.
2. What kind of dancing do Chinese people like?
Chinese people like to do ballroom dancing, but outside on the street. Young people like to go to discos and dance techno and hip-hop.
3. Does China have any traditional dances?
China has a lot of traditional dances. There are as many traditional dances in China as there are ethnic minorities.
4. Is traditional dance still popular today in China?
Yes, I think so. Many Chinese young people go to school in order to learn it. It's part of our culture. No, I don't think so. Nowadays, more people prefer modern music and dancing styles.
5. What kinds of dancing are popular with young people in China?
Young people are interested in many forms of dancing here in China. We like to go to clubs and dance to hip-hop and techno music.
Music. 1. Do you like to listen to music?
Yes, I do. I'll often listen to music on my MP4 when I'm travelling from place to place, or when I'm at home relaxing.
2. What kinds of music do you like?
I like to listen to love songs, pop music, rock music, traditional Chinese music, jazz, hip-hop, Latin music.
3. What kinds of music are popular in China?
Everybody has different tastes, but I think love songs and pop music are the most popular kinds of music in China. Older classics from America and Europe are pretty popular here too. Rap is also getting to be very popular as well.
4. Have you ever learnt to play a musical instrument?
Yes, when I was in school, I learned to play the violin, but I don't play it anymore, and I think I've forgotten how.
5. Is music an important subject at school in China?
Unfortunately, music is not such a popular subject at school in China. Math and science are much more important in China, although maybe not so popular.
6. What benefits do children gain by studying music or learning to play a musical instrument?
By learning how to play a musical instrument, children can learn many things. They can learn self-discipline, determination, and how to appreciate music better.
Drawing and painting. 1. Have you ever learned to draw?
To tell you the truth, I never really had the time to learn to draw. I also really don't have the talent to spend my time drawing.
2. Do you draw now?
Yes, I sometimes like to draw. Not only is it a good form of relaxation, but I enjoy creating beautiful things and using my imagination. Even if I can't draw very well, I still enjoy it.
3. What do you think are some of the benefits of drawing for both children and adults?
Both children and adults need to use their creativity. Drawing teaches people to look at the world differently, more carefully and thoroughly. It helps people relax and have fun, and it gives you a chance to use your imagination.
'Photography. 1. Do you like to take photographs?
Yes, I like to take photographs. It's great fun. And then afterwards you can always have the photos and remember the good times you've had.
2. When equals on what occasions, do you take photos?
Well, usually I take photos when I go out somewhere, to a park or to the beach or to a party. When it's somebody's birthday, spring festival, at graduations or any other important occasion, I take photos.
3. What kind of photos do you like to take?
Mostly I like to take pictures of nature or of beautiful scenery. Also, I like to take silly pictures with my friends. We always laugh a lot and have a good time.
Four. Is photography a popular hobby in China?
I think so. When Chinese people go out together, they often take photos of each other or of the places they visit.
5. Do Chinese people like to visit photographic exhibitions?
You know that I don't really visit photographic exhibitions because they're a little hard to find here in China. There are some, but the content is really not so interesting.
Collecting. 1. Do you collect anything?
Sure. I have a collection of postcards from different countries.
2. Why do you collect those things?
I collect those things because they are interesting and rare. I like to go over my collection and see all the cool things I've got stored away.
3. Is collecting a popular pastime in China?
It used to be, but not anymore. Actually, it is a little hard to find things to collect, except for maybe pictures of Chairman Mao on flags or coffee mugs.
4. Do a lot of people in China collect things, and what do they collect?
People in China really don't collect too many things. They're pretty busy with the daily run of things and don't have the time or the resources to collect things.
5. What are the benefits of collecting? Equals, why do people like collecting?
Well, people like to collect things mostly as a hobby, and hobbies are good to have because they help people to relax and get their minds off their jobs or problems they may have.
childhood room. Describe a room you lived in when you were a child. You should say what it looked like, what was in it, what you did in the room. Explain what you liked about the room.
My favourite room was the study room in my house. It had been a landing, but we made it into a study, and that is where I used to do my schoolwork, or any kind of project. The room was not so big, about 5 square meters. It had a bookcase, a table with 4 chairs, a filing cabinet, an entertainment centre with a TV, a large window, and a door leading to our balcony. Because of the window and door, there was plenty of light and fresh air, which made it a very nice place to work. During the school year, that would be my study room. During vacation and after I finished high school, I would use it for reading and other projects. There was also a computer in the room, which I often used to go online and do research. Sometimes I would also chat with my friends on the computer. I liked this room because it was quiet and very sunny. There was a large mango tree outside the window. That was very nice to look at. I always felt very relaxed and calm when I used that room. I also liked to practice on my keyboard in that room.
Part 3. Rooms and Individuality. 1. Do you think children should have their own rooms?
I think that it is good for children to have a chance to share rooms with other siblings. Once they get a little older, many children like to have their own rooms and learn how to take care of them. I think it's good for them to have a chance to have both their own room and a shared room. They learn many good things from each situation.
2. How do children benefit from sharing a room with others?
They learn how to get along with the people they share a room with. And they learn to share their toys, which is very important later in life. They learn to share responsibility in keeping the room clean and neat. They have someone to play with, and don't have to be lonely. Someone who can be a close friend. I think that it is more beneficial for children to share a room than to be by themselves.
3. Do you think people have enough privacy today?
Privacy is often very important. To those people who like privacy, it seems they can never have enough, and they will always want more. Others would rather exchange privacy for more protection. They don't mind having less privacy if they know that in exchange, they don't have to worry about theft or being in danger.
4. What do you think of people who decorate their houses in a very flamboyant manner?
I think that they want to make a statement of their status when they decorate in a colourful and showy way. This may not always be so, as some people may just like the decor. Often the decoration is to show their artistic tastes. Because it is difficult to make a colourful decor match well, having a well-arranged and well-decorated house shows a lot of taste on the part of the owner.
5. Have the rooms in houses changed much compared to the rooms of your parents' youth?
The layout of houses and rooms are pretty standard and stay almost the same. One thing that does change is the material that the furniture is made out of. When my parents were young, almost everything was made out of wood, and sometimes metal. There was rarely anything plastic. Today, much of our furniture is made out of plastic, metal, and other man-made materials.
6. How do you think the climate of a place affects the way buildings are constructed? The design.
Well, in my view, climate has quite a lot to do with the way we design and build our houses. For instance, in places where it snows a lot, you find houses built with a steep roof so that the snow can't settle on and damage it. But in warm climates, the houses are often built with a veranda to keep the sun out of the rooms and to provide a cool place to sit.
7. How do you think rooms will change in the future?
I think that in the future, rooms will change to use more natural materials. There is a great demand for genuine wooden furniture, and it is very stylish to use furniture that looks like the furniture used in the past. I think it's a good change. Other than that, I can't see that much of a change in rooms, really.
Places for public use. 8. What kinds of public places does your hometown have?
In the place where I grew up, there were quite a few small parks and places to stroll around. There were not many playgrounds for children to play in, but my siblings and I liked to run and play games. We were very happy to play in the open area in front of our apartment. There was also a nearby field where we could play football and a track to run around.
9. Do you think it's important to have facilities such as public parks and playgrounds?
I think that it is important to have places that are safe and clean for children to play in. It's good to have large open areas where both children and grown-ups can get good exercise outdoors in a safe environment. If nothing but skyscrapers are being built, then of course children are going to suffer. It is more important to have parks and playgrounds than some of the other facilities that are being built nowadays.
10. Compare public facilities, such as parks, in China today to those of the past.
In the old days, there were not many parks or public facilities, and the ones that were around were often small and unkempt. The plants were not taken care of, and the ground was often dirty and littered. Today, more efforts are put into keeping the parks clean and the area free from litter. The plants are well taken care of, and emphasis is put on making the parks look pretty.
11. In your opinion, how will public facilities change in the future?
I think that there will be larger and nicer parks made in the future. I think the parks will be made available to more people and easier to reach. I also think that there will be more playgrounds and better equipment. You know, in the future there might even be transportation to and from the playgrounds that would include free refreshments.
Describe a room you lived in when you were a child. You should say what it looked like, what was in it, what you did in the room. Explain what you liked about the room. 1. Do you think children should have their own rooms? 2. How do children benefit from sharing a room with others? 3. Do you think people have enough privacy today? 4. What do you think of people who decorate their houses in a very flamboyant manner? 5. Have the rooms in houses changed much compared to the rooms of your parents' youth? 6. How do you think the climate of a place affects the way buildings are constructed? The design. 7. How do you think rooms will change in the future? 8. What kinds of public places does your hometown have? 9. Do you think it's important to have facilities such as public parks and playgrounds? 10. Compare public facilities, such as parks, in China today to those of the past. 11. In your opinion, how will public facilities change in the future?